Good morning. Of the issues involved in trying to convey the results of this study, I think one of the most profound is the issue of language, because in science, they take a word and they define it and then they use it the same way all the time. Whereas in dog training, we take a word and then we bend it and morph it. Sometimes I think so we know who to hate next, or we change it depending on trend or on how we want to use it. And that's really been a problem when we talk about personality or traits. I'm not a scientist. I was brought into this group to help both with languaging, which is, I just showed you something by lifting my hand, which I'll show you again in a minute. Something I'm struggling with right now, but also with the idea of what concepts or behaviors might be heritable. We were trying to discover that. So when the scientists are talking about traits and behaviors, they were really looking at how breeds are described typically to the public. Golden retrievers are friendly and great with kids and things like that. What they found is that certain traits, especially traits related to the predatory sequence that might be broken, so for instance, like border collies and herding, and certainly very drivey dogs like Malinois, which came out way on the outside of the bell curve for being different or special children. Absolutely, they are quite heritable traits that aren't in the same proportion in all breeds equally. Absolutely not. So you could, I guess, have a police Cavalier King Charles, but it probably would be a pretty passive police Cavalier King Charles. What they did find, though, was that there are no breeds that have none of the characteristics, and all breeds have all of the characteristics of dogs. There is no breed that owns only one trait or characteristic that none of the others own. They all share all aspects of being a dog. And that if you go and buy a given breed, an Irish setter or something, there's no guarantee that it is going to be like the breed description says. And that's what I mean when I say those of us in the dog world kind of already knew it, but the public kind of doesn't. And so they are getting breeds in order to meet their emotional or family needs often, or their fantasies of what it's like to have a dog often. And often those needs are not being met because they expected that dog to be the back of a cereal box instead of accepting that dog for being the individual that it is. That's my non-science explanation of one of the problems we're having.